there's nothing more annoying than when you meet some new person at a party or something and they start giving you. I remember I met this guy on a cruise. He like randomly sat at our table and he's like, "Oh, you have a cruise business? That's really interesting. Well, here's some things I would do." I'm like, "I don't care. Like, you don't know anything about the cruise business. Like, this is your first cruise. Like, irrelevant, right?" And I hated this guy because of this, because he spent an hour trying to give me cruise advice, and I'm very politely trying to shut it down and change the topic. So make sure that somebody has asked for advice, or it's somebody you have that kind of relationship where it's known that you share advice like that.
So basically, by default, do not give advice until the person expressed interest. You can ask them if you want advice because you have prior experience, but make sure you have give them a super easy out.
Yeah, and the first step of giving advice too is understanding the other person. I think it's very easy, especially when, like I said, people give advice for themselves more than other people sometimes. So you can just ask them questions to understand their position more, and often that'll lead naturally to giving advice. You're like, "Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I was in a similar position." Like, "Oh, what'd you do?" Now you're in that mode.
Okay, cool. So one of the advice you give is to instead of going to school, you tell people. I mean, it's one of the things.